Are you struggling to decide which vacuum cleaner to add to your smart home? Well, let me give you 4 legit reasons to consider eufy's new X10 Pro Omni. Welcome everybody, welcome to AppleInsider. It is Andrew here, and I am legit hyped to talk about this, the eufy X10 Pro Omni. This is the latest in their series of smart home robotic vacuums and mops that packs a ton of tech in an affordable body. So we have stuff to discuss here, but I'm sure you were asking yourself, the question on everybody's mind is, Andrew, you're from AppleInsider, how do you look so good? And really, it's like the hair. It's just a little bit of like tea tree oil is really all it's. But aside from that, you're wondering, why are we talking about smart home vacuum cleaners? And that's because, one, I have a problem with smart home tech, and I love it. I love it so. But two, there is some seriously cool tech in here, and we all have floors that need to be cleaned and need to be mopped. And the fact of the matter is, you probably don't sweep or mop enough to actually clean your home. And a smart home vacuum cleaner can definitely go a long way towards fixing that issue. Before we get into all of the nitty-gritty details about why I like this and give you my 4 big reasons of why you should consider it, I want to acknowledge this is sponsored by eufy. That said, I will always give my honest opinion on a product, whether or not it is sponsored. I will tell you how it worked in my home, and I have tested a lot of vacuum cleaners, so I know exactly what it is that I am looking for here. So I'll give you what I like, what I don't like, and let you guys make an informed decision. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I know this video is sponsored by eufy, but I have to start off by telling you how much this thing sucks. Like, it can really, really suck. eufy says that its new X10 Pro Omni has a strong 8,000 pascals of suction. I've reviewed a lot of robotic vacuum cleaners, and 8,000 is certainly on the high end of the spectrum here. In my testing, it was easily able to pick up the plentiful pet hair, dust, and even the cereal that my feral child seems to leave all around this home. It was even enough to suck up all the dust bunnies that collect along the edges of my hallway. I guess that's what you get when you have 3 dogs, 2 cats, and 2 bunnies also living inside this house. Admittedly, hair can often be an issue for robotic vacuum cleaners. Now, I can't say that in a year I'm not going to have a different opinion, but so far in my testing over the past few weeks, this thing has done a great job with pet hair, and that's thanks to the Pro Detangling Comb that is built into the bottom of the vacuum itself that'll help loosen up the pet hair as it goes. As an added bonus, all of the air is run through a filter inside of the vacuum, and it's able to take out particles size 0.3 microns and larger. So that's going to be things like dust, pollen, mold, and other particulates that are in the air. So not only is it going to vacuum your home, but it's going to help clean your air at the same time. The next awesome feature to talk about is the new upgraded MopMaster 2.0. The new mop has been redesigned to apply downward pressure as it's mopping. It's roughly equivalent of a 1 kilogram object pushing down at 180 RPMs of those spinning mop heads. For me, living here in Ohio, in the wintertime, we end up with a lot of salt caked inside of our front door as we enter the house, and we end up with a lot of mud by the back door in the spring, thanks to the dogs bringing that into the house with all of the rain. That downward pressure is really useful in scrubbing that off the surface of all of our laminate flooring. Most of the house is laminate flooring, though we have some of the bedrooms that have carpet in them, and it's pretty high pile carpet. The mop here can lift up to 12 millimeters, so it's more than a centimeter in the air, so that when it goes over top of carpet, that mop doesn't end up dragging and then getting your carpet wet and gross because of the moisture in those mop heads. Even with our high pile carpet in like our son's bedroom, this was still enough clearance that it didn't have any cross-contamination there. So this was like a must-have for me in our home. A built-in time of flight sensor also monitors the walls as it's cleaning, and it's going to go ahead and like rotate around, getting those mops right up against the wall to make sure that it's cleaning every bit possible. Plus, the X10 Pro Omni has a built-in 80 milliliter water tank. So the last generation did not have that built-in water tank. This will allow it to continuously mop for 20 minutes uninterrupted. After that, it can go back to the docking station, refill the water, then go back and keep cleaning. Speaking of the docking station, the new Omni Station is the 3rd thing that I want to tell you about. The docking station is really what makes this robotic vacuum cleaner so powerful and gets me excited about it, because it makes it more hands-off. If you have a regular robotic vacuum cleaner, you're gonna have to like empty the dustbin constantly, you're gonna have to refill it with water or clean the mops, all of those kinds of chores, and I'm not sure that's that much more convenient than doing yourself in the first place. But with the Omni Station, it takes care of most of those tasks for you and makes your maintenance a lot lower for your just typical daily, weekly cleaning. The upgraded Omni Station is able to empty the dust bin when the robot comes back. It's able to clean the mop heads on the bottom, and it's able to install fresh water so it can keep going and cleaning without you having to refill anything. Every time the robot finishes cleaning your house, it's going to go ahead and return back to the docking station. At that point, it's going to empty out the dust bin of the robot into the integrated 2.5-liter bag. That should be enough for about 60 days of usage, so if you have a lot of pets like I do, that's going to be a bit shorter, but seriously, for typical homes, up to 2 months of time before having to replace the dustbin is fantastic. Then it's going to go ahead and clean the mop heads. So the mop heads will actually scrub themselves on the bottom of the bin there, getting them all clean, and then once they're clean, it's going to dry them with 113 Fahrenheit air. What that does is dry those mop heads so that they are not wet for a prolonged period of time, which can of course contribute to bacteria growth and some awful smells. So it's going to clean them, then dry them to keep them clean. Basically, after weeks and weeks of use, you're going to have to top off the water tank, empty out the dustbin, but it's pretty low maintenance for something that can clean your house every day, every other day, however often you want to schedule it. These robots, though, are only really useful if they're able to successfully traverse your home and your things that you have just lying around from your daily life. And that brings me to the fourth thing that I want to talk about, which is the new AIC obstacle avoidance system. The eufy X10 Pro Omni is able to use AI to recognize over 100 different objects that are found in your home. Things like pet and child toys, things like cables that may be strewn about, or even the unfortunate accidental pet dropping. It will recognize and avoid all of this stuff and continue cleaning. They're actually basing this obstacle avoidance system on like self-driving cars. It's pretty incredible to see it in actual real life, identifying an object and then going around it and not being interrupted. Then it has a built-in LED, which allows it to see in the dark, so you don't have to have the lights on for this to successfully be able to clean and work in your home. So if you want to run it while you're gone, at night, anything like that, yeah, sure, go for it. For those that are understandably concerned about privacy, eufy says that while it does use the onboard cameras to survey its environment, of course it's needed for things like obstacle avoidance, it does not automatically upload any user data or images. Users can voluntarily opt in, though, to share that information that can be used to improve the eufy's database and performance, but again, it's completely optional. Performance of this robot was great. I was very happy with this, especially at the price point. The only thing that I found was a negative as a specific Apple user was there's no support for Siri shortcuts or anything like that. There is support for Google Home and Amazon's Assistant, so if you use those smart home platforms, you can hook it up to those and use those smart speakers to just send out the robot to clean your home, which is great, but I wish there's support for Siri shortcuts. That could always be fixed in a software update though. Right, eufy? Right? When it all comes down to it, the eufy X10 Pro Omni is a solid combo robotic vacuum cleaner and mop that leverages new AI technology, that powerful 8,000 pascals of suction, and upgraded mopping for under $1,000. It is a great value for the technology that's baked inside. The eufy X10 Pro Omni is available to order now. I've gone ahead and put a link both in the description as well as pinned down in the comments. If you are interested at all, go ahead and pick one up. Other than that, thank you again to eufy for sponsoring this video. Please stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.